And I was like,
he knows who I am.
and I was hosting the AMAs that year, so I had
you're
to
busy.
keep-
The legacy of Tupac Shakur continues to live on. Yes, we had Mariah Carey. She doing a radio interview, promoting her new book. She brought up Tupac, Tupac Shakur, and man, I get around. That song ain't the realest shit ever for Tupac. And what you gotta love about Tupac had depth with the women. Yes, what do I mean by that? Like if you really get guys, you consider yourself, I get the women, I get the ladies, I got them. You got depth. And what do I mean by that? You can go from goddamn Madonna to Jada Pinkett Smith. You know what I'm saying? Different ethnicities, all different type of shit. Different women. You be like, damn, I would never expect to see him with that. Beautiful gal though, Tupac had depth, like I said. He'd have a hood chick level. He'd have a bougie chick level. And Tupac, he dangerous. Why is Tupac dangerous? Tupac was dangerous because he was a charmer. He had charisma. And he was a fucking actor. So he could go into any type of mode he had to go into in order to get your chick or talk to a chick. So he was dangerous motherfucking Tupac. You know what I'm saying? So I believe all them stories about him with the women and taking guys, girls, and shit like that, man. I believe all them stories. Because Tupac, he's spontaneous, sporadic, you know what I'm saying? So he a dangerous motherfucker. But Mariah Carey, she was doing a radio interview, and she recorded time, back, they say back in the day, doing the VMAs. She was kind of like hosting the VMAs, and Tupac kind of, flirted with her a little bit, but I'm gonna let Mariah Carey tell the story. Then we're gonna come back and chop it up on a real tip. I don't want to give too much away, so we're gonna let Mariah Carey tell it.
Wentworth Miller was in it, and I guess you were like in the cross between, like it's like this guy, but I'm kind of stuck over here. In the book, I'm wondering if you know the story I'm going to tell, but in the book there's a story of a young man that you saw driving in with the Rolls Royce, and he says, "Hey Mariah," and then that whole night you were like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like butterflies."
Yes, more than butterflies.
Tupac Shakur. Yeah. So in that music video, I'm like, okay, this could be that.
They could have turned that around and made it that.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah. The moment was like at the AMAs, and Pac had pulled up and said, "Hey Mariah," and the way that you wrote, I love your pen, because it's like my name just came out of his mouth like smoke. Like it was just a beautiful like, "Hi Mariah." And then that whole night, it was like Mariah was like, "Oh my gosh, he said hi to me." But you're Mariah Carey.
Well, he said it like, "Hi, Mariah."
Yes, Mariah.
And I was like,
He knows who I am.
and I was hosting the AMAs that year, so I had
you're
to
busy.
I had to keep going back and forth, but I wanted to keep going back and forth because that happened.
Would you have done a song with him? I know that that would have been, I guess, the perfect
Iconic.
moment. Unfortunately, we lost him too soon.
I know.
But seeing what you did with hip hop, where you were able to combine the two, especially around the moment that you did, it wasn't too. I guess they weren't telling you, "Hey, this is something you should do. This would better your career." This is something you did in spite of anyone telling you not to.
It was definitely in spite of anyone telling me not to. And I just, I loved hip hop, and I loved the moments that we're talking about, especially "Hi Mariah." So yeah, it was a pretty major moment for me.
Yeah.
to say the least.
That would have been the power couple of all power couples. I'm telling you, Mariah. Like no one.
I wish.
Oh my God. We have you in here.
That pisses band off when women talking about, "Oh, what's how what the did is with that." Oh, you had time. Mariah Carey had time. You could have got with him after that night. You could have said, "Hey, I need to get in contact with Tupac. Where he at? If he really made you all blushy and all." Not saying he didn't, but shit, if you was fucking with him like that, why you ain't just get in contact with him? It wouldn't have been hard. It wouldn't have been hard. So don't be talking about what you would have did, should have did, could have did. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he didn't, make you blush a little bit, this and that, but you could have gave him some. You really wanted to. Could have dated him, whatever. So that's all I say about that. Don't wait till we long gone or we ain't there in the flesh. show us some love when we there. You know, show us some love when we there. Show players some love when they there. You know. But Tupac, I get around, round and round. You know, Tupac, man, you get around. And like I say, when you're a player, you feel like you get women. You really get women. You gonna have depth. You gonna have women of different varieties for sure. You know, you are. You are. When people see you with a beautiful guy, like, damn, I wouldn't expect to see with that type of girl, but she do look good. You know, like I say, Madonna, Jada Pinkett. You know, Tupac get around. You know, as far as who he dealing with. You know, that's just show you, you know, how he do. You know, but definitely want to, you know, get my reaction to this. I'm like, Mariah Carey, oh, he made you blush, but you ain't want to contact him that night and say, hey, what's up? What's up? You had me going tonight. I'm trying to get back in contact with you. You know, you could have pulled the play. You know, for real, if we want to keep it 100. But that's just my thoughts. But let me know what y'all think. Comment, like, subscribe as we cover shit the video. If you're entertained, hit that cash up, get the fire coming. I'm going to keep it rolling. We are.
Ladies and gentlemen.